Okay, let's share some news and thoughts around the world of commodities. And as always, let's start with the oil and gas stocks in the market. That sector was down 1.81% on Monday to start a brand new trading week despite the positive news from Seplat. But let's take a look at the big seven as always. Corn oil got a haircut, 4.98%. to start the brand new trading week, less than 200,000 shares. 40 oil was unchanged on the day. Mobil oil lost 5%, and of course you've heard the news around NIPCO Investments Limited extending the minority shareholders offering of about 11.5 million ordinary shares into shareholders of that company to acquire more shares, become the majority shareholder in Mobil Oil Nigeria PLC. 273.53 the closing bell. MRS unchanged at 37.30. Owando lost about 1%. You can see the numbers there are quite the largest volume. Seplat 465 naira unchanged. Total was a negative 5%. And of course the Seplat story was that this oil and gas company listed in Lagos and London stock exchanges says it has rescheduled its $150 million global loans that it took from a consortium of local banks and international, mostly from South Africa, US, and the UK. And this is a significant deleveraging of the Seplat Petroleum's balance sheet. So this money will now be due for repayment, not this year-end, 2017, but December 31st, 2018. And that will be paid over 5 quarters installments starting from the 4th quarter of this year. So Seplat will have got some amnesty, as it were, on this $150 million loan till the 4th quarter, when the deductions will start in 5 quarters and the total repayment by the end of next year. So the company says it now has just about $635 million as total loans as of June 30, 2017. And that's one piece of news. Just add that up there to what Seplat is doing on the markets. And of course, you need to report all that to investors here and around the world. Let's talk about the agri-commodities in Nigeria. And as always, we have a technical team of analysts. As always, one of them from Financial Derivatives here, Ada Akonobi from Financial Derivatives Company. Good morning.
Good morning, Bosun.
Thank you. Okay, well, we're going to talk about the yam story, but let's leave that for now. Where are we as far as the burning economic issues are? What is good and what is not so good? Okay. The PMI was good.
Exactly.
I like that.
So the PMI released, both FBN and the CBN, recorded, the manufacturing sector recorded an expansion. So this is mainly due to the accessibility of FX. We could allude the fact that power generation in the month of June as well was relatively favorable to manufacturers. So these are, putting pressure or actually improving output for most manufacturers.
And of course, what about prices of diesel? Remain a little bit flat. We've seen 200. Exactly. Now we're seeing 170. Now it looks like that price is also still trending lower.
Yes, so most energy costs, transport energy costs, petroleum, diesel, and kerosene have remained relatively flat or even reduced. So, I mean, these are all the factors as to why we've seen an improvement in the manufacturing index.
Do you think there's still a lot of room here for manufacturers to eke out some gains as things seems a little bit stable?
Yeah, well, so far we've seen FX stability in the market, and this is positive news. Most manufacturers now don't have to build up on inventories as to a lot of uncertainty and speculation has been, the cloud is gone. But the issue now is sustainability. Is this sustainable? Will the CBN continue to support the FX market? Will the CBN continue to intervene in the FX market? We're seeing what oil prices are trading right now. So what are the chances that if prices fall below 45, will the CBN continue to do this? We're seeing the external reserves are, somewhat dilly-daddling, but it's still, not as high as it was last month. So these are all the concerns most manufacturers are going through.
In terms of where prices are locally, And I always like this bit of market survey you folks do all the time. Thank you very much. It helps me keep an eye on where things are. So let's put that up on the screen. Thank you, folks, the production team there, from palm oil to semolina to maize to tomato. Oh, yeah, yam is not here, but again, that's fine. We're going to include yam here one of these days because it looks like now yam has become a dollar-prized assets export for Nigeria. So we need to put yam here on this list. We
will put yam, yes.
Yes. So is the price of yam likely going to go up?
The price of yam actually is going up, which is interesting because a tuber of yam is 1,000 naira as opposed to what it was 700, 600, but now it's going up. We can allude that to the fact that the old yam season is fizzling out, and we're going into the new yam season, which is coming up in August. So, and again, the fact that the agricultural minister has said that we have exported, or we're exporting yams to Europe and the US. So what that happens is that there's going to be a lot more yams produced for exports, and there's going to be shortage in terms of domestic consumption. So we may, probably link that to the fact that that's why prices of yams domestically are going up.
Each time we go on an export drive for a particular agri products, the local markets seem to suffer. So we've gone through rice, we've gone through beans at some point, you remember, a few years ago, and just sticking them up here. And we've gone through tomatoes as well, because once folks hear that some folks are picking up tomatoes and this and that, then the local price by the retail end on the street corner go up.
Exactly. So I think most producers of this agri-commodities are trying to take advantage of the exchange rate differential. So they think it'd be more profitable for them to export these commodities and gain back in a foreign currency. So at the detriment of the local consumption, or at the detriment of the domestic consumption. So
how do you think we should balance things out here? Because when the currency is down, it's a good time for you to export into a hard currencies jurisdictions, whether it is in euro or in pound or in dollars or in Japanese yen, so that you can make gains. But at the same time, you can keep boasting 180 million Nigerians starving here and raise my own local prices, inflation creeps in and all of that, because you've got folks who are making exports are smiling to the banks, and I'm just getting squeezed when I go to my bank in terms of how much prices of things have gone up.
It just shows us that despite the fact that we're bumping up or increasing our domestic production, it's not enough. We're growing, our population growth rate is 2.8%, and it keeps growing. So we have a large population, but then we're not producing as much we're still importing, which is interesting. We're exporting and we're importing, so we have to find the right balance, produce more, then now become very competitive in the international market. But I guess, there's been a lot of agricultural incentives now. Putting the exports of yam in the tabloid is good news, because you're going to encourage more people to come into producing yam, even if it's not for exports as well, and for domestic consumption and other commodities as well.
This is one piece of bad news on that table, and I'm going to bring it back. Rice is up 15.6%.
Yes. Well, rice,
50 kg.
The price of rice is extremely volatile. So anytime we do a market survey, prices can go down to 18,000, 18,500, depending on the retailer. But we found a common ground of about 18,500.
I'm saying 22,000 1 year high.
That was when we had the, when we had the biting effects issue and we had the borders closed. But now prices are tapering down, not as high as it was earlier in the year.
Look, I'm just looking at that on the screen. The lowest I've seen was 13,500, 1 year low. Seen 18,000, 16,000, 22,000. These are all double digits.
Yes, if you go to the market as well, there are various grades of rice. So we have the locally produced rice, which some are expensive.